Under the cover of a moonless night, deep at an undisclosed location, 4 powerful F-117 engines roared to life.
The mighty C-17 Globemaster III stood ready, its massive cargo bay illuminated by dim red tactical light.
This aircraft was preparing for deployment, but this was absolutely no ordinary mission. This was something far greater.
The objective was something never attempted before in the entirety of modern aviation history, a truly groundbreaking operation.
For weeks, rumors had spread among defense analysts, whispers of a classified maneuver involving the C-17 aircraft.
This secret mission was one that seemed to defy the aircraft's own, very specific, designated design limits.
The mission parameters were so extreme that even the most seasoned, experienced combat pilots remained skeptical of success.
How could a heavy-lift transport jet, built specifically to carry tanks, troops, and supplies, execute this mission?
It was an operation that most experts in the field had considered to be functionally impossible to achieve.
Then, at execution hours, the final came through from set end.
You are cleared for Operation Silent Dagger. The transmission crackled, confirming the mission was officially a go.
Within only seconds, the C-17's 4 massive engines thundered to life, with an overwhelming, powerful roar. The ground crew members quickly stepped back, shielding their faces from the intense, hot jet blast.
The massive aircraft began rolling down the dark runway, accelerating rapidly, and then vanishing into the night.
For the next 8 hours, that C-17 would carry out one of the most daring missions ever.
This mission combined advanced stealth, incredible speed, and precision flying, all while under constant enemy surveillance. The crew had no fighter escorts for protection, no AWACS support for guidance. They were completely alone.
Just one giant aircraft, flying deep into hostile airspace, with no backup available if things went wrong.
Inside the cockpit, the flight crew remained completely silent, focusing only on their complex instruments.
The heavy aircraft climbed steadily to its cruising altitude of 33,000 feet, monitoring systems closely.
Radar operators back at headquarters watched every single second of the critical telemetry data streaming in.
But what made this specific mission so incredibly dangerous wasn't the distance, it was the final destination.
The Globemaster's flight path was deliberately erratic, designed to deceive any potential trackers on the ground.
Every 30 minutes, the pilots aggressively changed altitude and heading, attempting to avoid enemy radar locks. At times, they flew as low as 300 feet above the dark, mountainous terrain, a dangerous maneuver.
This was a feat unheard of for a 265,000-pound aircraft, pushing the airframe to its limits.
According to later reports, the objective was delivering a critical prototype, an advanced electronic warfare system.
This prototype system was being delivered to a covert, secret base located somewhere near the Black Sea.
This new system could jam, deceive, and redirect enemy radar networks, a powerful new technological weapon.
It could effectively make an entire region completely blind to incoming threats for hours at a time.
But there was one major obstacle. The target zone was surrounded by hostile radar and missile batteries. The C-17 had no choice. It had to fly straight through this dense, dangerous, defended airspace.
At 04:12 local time, the crew switched the aircraft to full EMCON, or emissions control.
This meant no radio transmissions, no external lights, and no radar pings. They were completely invisible.
Every single crew member knew that if they were detected, surface-to-air missiles could be launched at them.
Those missiles could be launched within mere seconds of detection, leaving no time at all to react.
The pilot, Major Eric Dalton, recalled the intense pressure of that moment in a later interview.
"You don't breathe. You don't blink," he said. You just trust the bird and your instruments.
The C-17 descended again, down to 500 feet above sea level, skimming over the dark, black waters. From the ground, the massive aircraft was completely indistinguishable from the dark, flat horizon line.
But inside the aircraft's cockpit, the psychological tension was building to an almost unbearable breaking point.
Suddenly, the onboard threat receiver lit up with a warning. An enemy radar had locked on.
The lock was brief, lasting only a moment, before the radar system somehow lost the signal.
The entire crew froze in place, bracing for the worst possible outcome, a missile launch.
Without a word, the co-pilot executed a defensive bank, diving the C-17 into a narrow valley.
The massive jet dove quickly between two large, dark mountain ridges, seeking cover from the radar. They had successfully evaded detection by the enemy's radar system, but only barely avoiding disaster.
By dawn, the C-17 finally approached the mission's drop zone, but conditions were deteriorating fast.
Visibility was near zero due to extremely dense fog and dangerously heavy, buffeting crosswinds.
The rear cargo bay doors opened, revealing the hidden world below, a small, covert airstrip. This hidden airstrip was carved directly into the unforgiving, surrounding mountain terrain, concealed from view.
On board, the Loadmaster initiated the final drop sequence, preparing the valuable cargo for its delivery.
The experimental payload was secured on a special low-altitude extraction system, perfectly ready for the drop.
Then came the single most critical moment of the entire 8-hour operation, the extraction.
Altitude 1,000 feet, speed 245 knots, wind shear 38 knots.
In these treacherous conditions, absolutely everything could go wrong in just a fraction of a second.
The Loadmaster shouted over the comms, 3, 2, 1, release!
The cargo shot out of the bay with a thunderous roar, its extraction parachutes deploying instantly.
Within only a few seconds, the entire payload disappeared deep into the thick, concealing mist below.
The crew had no visual confirmation of a successful landing, but onboard sensors confirmed the delivery.
The system was on the ground, and the primary objective was complete. Target reached, mission accomplished.
But the mission was only half complete for the crew of Eagle 7. Now came the return flight. As the C-17 banked hard to the west, the crew noticed something unusual on their radar.
Multiple fast-moving contacts were approaching rapidly from the north. Enemy interceptors had been scrambled.
Once again, there was no friendly air cover, no available backup. They were completely on their own.
Major Dalton pushed the throttles all the way forward, demanding maximum power from the engines.
The C-17 wasn't built for dogfighting, but at full thrust, it could reach over 500 miles per hour.
Using the mountainous terrain below for cover, they raced at high speed toward friendly, safe airspace.
For nearly 30 minutes, the crew endured one of the most stressful flights of their careers.
They faced constant radar pings, incoming missile alerts, and violent evasive maneuvers to stay alive.
The aircraft's fuel reserves dropped to dangerously low levels, nearing empty from the high-speed chase.
If they didn't make it to refueling range soon, they would be forced to land in hostile territory. If they didn't make it to refueling range soon, they would be forced to land in hostile territory.
But fate was on their side. A KC-135 Stratotanker had been pre-positioned just outside enemy radar.
The rendezvous window for the emergency refueling was extremely small. Only 3 minutes were available.
As the two massive aircraft met in midair, the C-17's refueling boom quickly locked into place.
Contact.
Jet fuel flowed into the C-17's tanks. The operation lasted only 90 seconds, the absolute minimum.
This was just the minimum fuel needed to get them home, but it would be enough.
Seconds later, the C-17 disengaged from the tanker and dove sharply into a layer of thick clouds.
At the mission debrief 36 hours later, analysts confirmed Operation Silent Dagger was a complete success.
The advanced prototype system had reached its destination completely intact, and it was already being activated.
Within days, reports emerged of complete radar blackouts across several hostile zones near the delivery site.
Enemy command centers were in chaos as they had no explanation for the sudden, complete blindness.
Operation Silent Dagger had permanently changed the future course of electronic warfare and military strategy.
It proved that even a transport aircraft could become a powerful weapon of stealth and strategy.
Months later, the Air Force quietly upgraded several C-17s with new radar-absorbing materials and EW suites.
This significant, expensive upgrade was a direct result of the lessons learned from this one mission. This new variant is known by defense analysts as the C-17B, nicknamed the Shadowmaster.
The Shadowmaster version reportedly includes a reduced radar cross-section using advanced composite skin panels for stealth.
It also features new infrared suppression systems to hide its heat signature from enemy missiles.
New adaptive flight control software was installed, specifically designed for low-altitude, high-speed operations.
And a modular bay for deploying drones, decoys, or powerful electronic jammers was added to the airframe.
In essence, the United States transformed its workhorse cargo plane into a true ghost of the skies.
Even today, most of this operation remains shrouded in official secrecy and is highly classified.
There is no official footage, no photographs, and no public acknowledgement that the mission ever happened.
But those who were there, the crew of Eagle 7, describe it in very stark terms.
They described the mission as something out of a nightmare and a modern miracle combined.
In a rare interview, one of the flight engineers shared his experience from that night.
He said you could feel it in your bones. Every second out there, we were rewriting history.
We were rewriting what the C-17 aircraft was capable of, he concluded in the interview.
The mission also sparked immediate, intense global interest among allied nations and strategic rivals alike.
NATO allies began requesting similar stealth modifications for their own C-17 transport fleets.
Meanwhile, rival nations like Russia and China accelerated their own efforts to develop similar stealth transports.
It was the beginning of a new chapter in strategic mobility, a paradigm shift in warfare.
A chapter where even cargo planes could vanish like shadows and strike like ghosts from the dark.
Military historians now refer to Operation Silent Dagger as the day logistics finally became truly lethal.
It represented a new, powerful fusion of strategic air mobility and high-stakes covert warfare. And yet, one final mystery from that night remains completely unsolved, even to this day.
Reports claim that a second C-17 took off that same night, but it never returned to base.
The Pentagon has never officially commented on this reported disappearance, maintaining a strict, silent policy.
Some analysts believe this second aircraft was a decoy, meant to draw away enemy radar operators.
Others say it carried a different, more sensitive payload.
one that has never been disclosed.
Whatever the truth may be, the powerful legacy of that night continues to shape military doctrine.
Because of this operation, the line between simple transport and active combat has blurred forever.
So the next time you see a C-17 soaring high overhead, remember what it represents.
It is not just a cargo jet. It's a symbol of American ingenuity and national power.
It represents the will to accomplish what so many others in the world called impossible.
Because in the silence of the night sky, beneath the radar, and beyond the limits,
there are missions the world will never know, and there are legends the world will never forget.